Yeah, I was watching a YouTube video about the 21 and the 22 Georgia football team. Two of the best teams that we'll ever have. That's not even a subject for debate. And possibly they have a shot at being called the best team ever. You can't argue with the dynamics of what they offered. Explosive offense, outstanding defense, everything, special teams, outstanding players. It was basically an unfair fight, and they didn't have any real opponents. Now, that's changed now. But even with that, Georgia still really shouldn't have won those titles because Georgia typically manages not to. I don't think they were supposed to win those games. I'm talking about the Ohio State game, the only game they had that was even challenging in 22. But it does stand as a landmark for Georgia fans, and they should have been able to see exactly what it takes to win. Certainly every coach that was in the building should have seen the template of how to design a football team. But to see how Georgia's gone completely away from that template tells you everything. It tells you that Georgia has no intention of winning titles. They never have. That's why they've only won 3. I guess they got one in 42. So when they get a freak player that dominates the game, they managed to eke out a title that year. That 1980 season, they barely won 6 of those games. Could have lost 5 of them very easily, even though they had an unstoppable weapon. Georgia is not a championship program. They don't want to be. They proved they could be. Why is it that there's a thing called the Georgia offense? Why does Georgia think that's an asset to not score? An interesting question. Why has Georgia gone their entire existence, and that's up because of Kirby Smart's decade? They're in the top 11 of all-time wins because they've been playing longer than anybody. But they've never won titles. SEC championships, they win a few of those. But how many of those turned into titles? Only one. We're talking about before they had a playoff. And they've had a playoff for 20 years. Georgia never sniffed it. They made sure they didn't get there. So what is it about Georgia that doesn't like to win titles? It wasn't intended. The powers that be never expected Georgia to do that, even though they had a great team, because Georgia's always played along. So what's going on here? What's really going on with Georgia? One thing for sure, a third year of Mike Bobo is not going to be a good record. You can't put a team through 3 years of Mike Bobo and expect to be any good. This team here coming up has a very good opportunity to fall into 7-5, 6-6, or Florida State meltdown territory. All that's certainly possible. Something you couldn't have said was possible in 21 or 22 or any time Kirby Smart's been here. So why did they abandon the championship mantra? What's going on here? Why doesn't Georgia want to score? And why don't they want to win titles? Because if you're going to win titles, you got to do both. Score and stop. You got to do everything right. There hasn't been a champion out there that wasn't in the top 20 in offense and defense. Usually top 5 in one or the other. You got to be good to win a title. Georgia's always had great talent. So Georgia has always had great talent or good talent. They've always been a winning program. Lifetime, they're averaging about 8-4. Their lifetime winning percentage is exactly 8-4, 6-6-7. But they have a reputation for being conservative on offense, and in a time like now, that's not going to win no titles. I don't know why Georgia has that problem. I don't know why they're stuck on this Georgia offense, but it's not going to win them any titles. And you know, throwing a guy like Mike Bobo in there, you can clearly see how fast this team is eroded. As you watch these highlights in 21 and 22, you can see it's not the same football team. And those of you that think it's just, we just had a couple of down years and we're going to go back to that, not going to happen. Georgia's not a championship program, and the reason is they don't want to be. And their fans don't hold them to task. How many SEC fans would let what happened in 21-22 be forgotten, like it didn't happen, and go against that. And actually, you got fans that actually call Monken, they degrade him. They don't like Monken. They like Bobo. They like everything Kirby Smart does. They like that. But I don't know if you're going to like 7 and 5 quite as much. And I'm looking forward to that, as a matter of fact, because I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Georgia's going to have a 7 and 5 season. It might be a good outcome for this team. And the days of automatically being considered champions, you threw it away. And you're going to find out, just like Florida's found out. Awfully hard to claw your way back up that ladder.
Way inside the 35. Keep it himself. Plays it right up the middle. Down inside Auburn territory. He may be able to go. Inside the 5. Touchdown, Georgia. Oh, my.
We continue to grow and get better. This team has proven that it's resilient and tough. We've got a lot of things that we can clean up.